Good afternoon, everyone. David Paul speaking. It is just 6 o'clock in London, UK time. I'm looking at Vector Vest USA, and the long-term trend in the American market is up. Underlying trend is up. The short-term trend is up. The short-term trend off the boil a little bit, and Vector Vest advocates caution. But there are some stocks, i.e. the so-called glamour stocks, that are moving very strongly indeed. I've been talking to anybody who listened to me about Micron over the last 6 months, and MU, it's gone up very strongly over the last couple of days in a negative market. We'll look at the chart in a minute. It's got a relative value, which is a price appreciation potential over a window of 3 years into the future of 1.86. That's saying that it should outperform the risk-free rate, a AAA rated corporate bond, by 86%. Over a window of 3 years into the future. And all the shares that I'm looking at, you've heard of them all. Micron, Netflix, I think, has got a RV of 1.42, which is excellent. Nvidia Corporation, RV of 1.41. And I'm also looking at PayPal, which has got a very interesting technical formation. It's got an RV of 1.18. And these stocks should grow earnings at Micron 43%. 40% for Netflix, 29% for Nvidia, 23% for PayPal. All of them make excellent swing trading opportunities, and the setups I teach in my swing trading course, all of them up nicely today, but there are some major opportunities still left in these for short-term trading. So let's have a look at the chart. So let's chart them. Now, Micron, folks, that is a support line. Earnings per share is growing strongly. Remember, the earnings per share is the engine that's driving this thing up the field. It actually came back to this support line. There was a falling wedge there, and I've been advising people to look at it carefully since down around 45, 48 area. It's up at 61. It's gone too far, so that one is gone. We need to pull back a little bit before we consider swing trading it again. But Vector Vest members had a swing there. We've had a swing there. We had one there. We got stopped out at entry, and the ball is in. The game is on at the moment. It's pushing towards that old high. But all is not lost, folks, because Netflix would seem to be pushing up out of this ascending triangle, and I bought a few this morning at the open. It's already up, and as you can see, it's pushed up once, twice, 3 times. If I blow this up so we can see that a little bit more clearly, and one of my old mentors, Mr. William Gann, always used to say that markets break on the 4th attempt. I have a target on Netflix of $3.99 from here. Let's see what it can do. Clearly the trade needs to be managed, stops need to be pulled up behind you, you need to use your loaf, but nevertheless this is a textbook ascending triangle in a high momentum share that's growing earnings strongly. Look at this earnings growth over the last 6 months. It's grown from $2 to $2.80 over the last 6 months. I think everybody on the planet's heard of it. So that is the ascending triangle, which just broke. I closed there, and I think that there's plenty of room in that on the upside. So the next one is Nvidia Corporation. Now, Nvidia Corporation, let's go to the yearly chart. Earnings per share flying up the page over the last year, up from $3 to $5. That's quite something. Semiconductors, of course, having a fresh era in that they're used a lot for mining cryptocurrencies, I believe, although I'm out of my depth in that subject. I like to see support, okay? Simple old support line. If you pull back to that line there, how did we go up the page and then came back and ran the stops here, and that little hammer was a lovely method of getting long there. But folks, it's pulling back at the moment, and it's pulling back in this drift downwards, which is called a falling wedge, and it's pushing above that. I think that this thing is about to go again, and I think that this leg will be repeated. Now folks, that's $40 odd. Okay, so we could quite easily see this getting up to 280, 290. So that's something for you to look at. That could be a great, that just, these moves over 5 or 6 days, great leverage trades. Now PayPal has broken, and let's look at a little bit more. There's the chart, folks. I have to trade these things because if I don't trade my rules, I've got nothing. Earnings per share rising, and then it goes into this, I think people call it a pennant pattern. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I always like the way it goes down and runs the stops, and if I blow this up, those of you that are candle analysts will see that I think is what the candle people call a piercing line, and away she went. She came off the highs. Clearly people took profits here. Market broke, come back, kissed. Do you see how that low and that old high are the same? It kissed that old high. The professional traders would rather die than chase, so they allowed it to pull back, and it seems to be pulling up the page again. It's on a buy recommendation in Victor Vest, and the target up here is a long way up the page, folks. And if we go back a little bit further, we can see that this run up the page, invariably these legs are repeated, so it looks to me as if PayPal has got a long way to go. As you know, they had a major acquisition the other day, and so those look good. So those are 4 Glamour stocks. I think that next Netflix has got a long way to go. I think Nvidia looks as if it wants to burst up the page, and PayPal looks as if it wants to burst up the page. I have leverage bets in them all. I think that Micron has gone too far. As always, folks, these shares are suitable for my speculative trades. They may not be suitable for you, so please take advice. Thank you very much. Bye bye.